The Redemption of Babel, a devotional for the season of Lent, produced by Northside Church. Wednesday, April 5th. Our scripture passage today comes from Luke chapter 20, verses 14 through 16. But when the tenants saw him, they talked the matter over. "This is the heir," they said. "Let's kill him, and the inheritance will be ours." So they threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. What then will the owner of the vineyard do to them? He will come and kill those tenants and give the vineyard to others. When the people heard this, they said, "God forbid." Jesus spent the final days of his earthly life doing what he had wanted to do since he was a 12-year-old boy, left behind by his parents in Jerusalem, teaching in the temple. Back then, he had been the precocious kid, listening and asking questions with an understanding that amazed those who heard him. Now, he was teaching with an authority that surpassed anyone who had come before. And though he was in the big city and supposedly raised as a carpenter, Jesus returned again and again to gardening and farming metaphors in his teaching, as if hinting that the medium really is the message, and that God had intended something better for the people than the artificial confines of a city. While many of Jesus' parables can be ambiguous and even confusing at times, the meaning of this one wasn't lost on the teachers of the law and chief priests who heard him. Just as the man had planted a vineyard from which he expected the tenants to produce fruit, so God had planted a people from which he expected the produce of faithfulness. When the time of harvest came, the man sent servants, as God had sent prophets, all of which were rejected, beaten, and cast away without any produce, without any faithfulness. Now, God has sent his Son, and of course we know what's about to happen. The leadership of both the Jewish temple and the Roman Empire are going to kill him. In a very real sense, the cities of Jerusalem and Rome are going to conspire together, saying, "This is the heir, let's kill him, and the inheritance will be ours." Then they will throw Jesus, the true vine and son of the gardener of creation, outside the walls of the city and hang him on a cross. It's easy for us to read this story today and identify ourselves with the others to which the vineyard will be given. We are, after all, the ones Jesus is talking about, right? But let's pause and ask a serious question. Would we really do anything different than the tenants did, or than the Jewish and Roman leadership did? And before we are too quick to answer, let me ask, isn't this what we've already done? We like to think that if Jesus showed up today, we'd embrace him, just like the crowds did who came out of the city on Palm Sunday. But are we sure we are not also the same crowds who, while inside the city, shouted for his removal and even execution? I confess, I've allowed just this kind of riot to happen in my heart. I've cast out the messengers of God and even Christ himself, especially when I thought they threatened the power and control I had built for myself. Have you ever done this? Have we ever done this as a church?